There was a time not so long ago, Jo, where perhaps you thought you might never dance again. You've been very poorly, and you look as though you've made a magnificent recovery. How are things with you now?
I feel great. I really do. I feel I'm 100%. I'm actually 100%, according to the doctors. I did have a bone marrow transplant 3.5 years ago after being diagnosed when our daughter, who is now almost 9, when I was pregnant with Anna, diagnosed with aplastic anemia, bone marrow disease, and was treated, went into remission. The treatment caused a great deal of problems with my joints, and so my hips collapsed, my shoulders, and my knee. And I went on to have 8 surgeries to repair all of that, including 2 total hip replacements, 5 shoulder surgeries, and 1 knee surgery, numerous blood transfusions, platelet transfusions, bone marrow biopsies, and a huge journey for those 9 years, I guess. And then obviously culminating, as I said, with the bone marrow transplant. And there was a time where I could not literally walk. I shuffled. I couldn't tie my shoes. I couldn't lift my knees. I couldn't touch the top of my head, and walked on crutches. Couldn't lift my newborn baby. Had to sit and hold her, and it was very humbling to go from a professional dancer to not literally being able to hold your own infant. And through a lot of prayer and a lot of support from the line dance community and tremendous doctors, I have been able to return to my old self. I feel like my old self. My body feels older, but I don't even really think about those body parts because they do feel so normal again. And I worried about it. I thought, what if you're not able to get back to that? And I just feel so thankful and so blessed and a big part of it was the line dance community and the prayers and the support and the energy that I felt from that. That was a big part of my healing. And I just say thank you.
During that time, Tim wrote a blog, and it was followed by thousands of people around the world. How much did that mean to you?
Tim's blog was beautifully written. My husband, I have to say, he's a very talented writer, and it was helpful. It was therapeutic for him to be able to write it because he was a huge part of this as well. He was there with me every step, and so to write it and journal it and be able to share it with our friends and our line dance community worldwide was huge. And he did it in a way in such that he let people know what was happening and what was going on, but he also put a really nice humor in it, and to know that even though this may be the worst of times, there's still something to smile about or something to be happy about and be thankful about and have joy and your life continues. And so at this point, being able to look back at it, some of it feels like a dream to me. So when I read it again, I'm like, wow, did we really go through that? And I've also had people say that they have a friend that was diagnosed with aplastic anemia, or we have a friend that's having a stem cell transplant, and they're now reading your blog, and it's been so helpful for them to read it, and it's a story with a happy ending. You gotta love that, right? And so Tim's blog continues to be a big part of this journey.
Yeah. It certainly was an inspiration for the people who followed it and followed your journey, prayed for you and hoped for you and wished you well. And as you say, all those messages reach you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, you are an inspiration to many people around the world as far as dance is concerned. But during that period, what was your darkest moment?
There were some dark moments, but at the same time, I had so much support. It did help me to focus on the positive, on what can I find to be thankful for today. And I actually kept a journal, like a gratitude journal, and I would wake up every morning wherever I was, at home or in the hospital or in the treatment room or the doctor's office or whatever, and I would write what I was thankful for, and I would say, thank you for this warm blanket that they just brought me. Thank you for, this hot cup of tea. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for a healthy baby. Thank you for this sunny day. You know, just the little things that can bring you joy in the middle of your darkest hour. And so I chose to focus on those things and remind myself of those things by making that journal, that gratitude journal. And now I go back and read it, and it's really precious, you know, to read those things that those little things that kept me going. And I still try to do that. And I encourage everybody has something that they're dealing with, whatever it is that you might have, you know, going on in your life. Try to focus on those little things that bring you joy and can keep your chin up and keep you positive, because they're there. And it's just sometimes harder to see them when we're struggling.
Yeah. And you've obviously been through it, and you are the picture of health now, and just a delight to watch on the dance floor. You've inspired a lot of people, and they do regard you as a mentor and as a lady who's very generous with her skill and her talent. Could you name one person in your life that you would say you aspired to be, or inspired you the most?
Since I did start dancing at such an early age, I was so thankful to have such great instructors, as I said, from the very, very beginning. Judy Ann Rothrock was my first ballet, jazz, and tap instructor, and I just adored her. I just thought she hung the moon, and she was so graceful and so talented, and I wanted to be like her, because one of the things I loved about her is that she was like a chameleon. When she was doing ballet, she looked like a ballerina. When she was doing jazz, she was all jazz and tap, and I was like, I wanted to be like her so much. And then went on to have fabulous instructors in the round dance community, Charlie and Betty Proctor and Helen and Leland Neely, and so many that I learned from. And then in college, Marjan McMillan, and people that were these instructors. And then I traveled and learned from international jazz instructors, Luigi and Joe Tremaine and Gus Giordano, the people that I got to study with and hope to be like, you know, in some small way. And so thankful that I've had, from a very early age, some really positive influences and some very talented teachers. And I still remember the stuff that I learned from them at 7 and 14 and 20 and 25. And I'm still using some of those techniques in my teaching today on how I present something, or how I cue it, or how I listen to the music, or how I feel the music, or how I milk the beat. Those are all things I learned from those teachers. And I'm so thankful. And then my parents ultimately probably were my biggest role models, because they started teaching when I was 11 and shared their joy of dance. And my mom and dad, when you see them dance together, it was just like, it was poetry in motion. Two of the most graceful people, again, that you might ever see. And so just a lot of great influences in my life. And I'm very, very thankful for them.